My parents refused to attend my wedding to take my sister to the beach. 1 month later, they called begging me to come home for a family emergency, and I replied, "Sorry, I'm at the beach." I'm Caitlin, 27 years old, and I recently got engaged to my boyfriend who is 28. We've been together for 5 years, and the proposal felt like a natural step. Everyone seemed excited at first, my family included. They congratulated us right away. My older sister was all smiles, and my brother said he couldn't wait for the big day. Things looked perfect. My boyfriend and I picked our wedding date quickly. It wasn't random. We chose the anniversary of when we first met, a day that's always meant everything to us. Marrying on it just made sense. We locked it in, booked the venue in the Colorado Mountains near our Denver suburb home, and started planning. At the beginning, my family was on board. Mom asked about themes and colors. Dad cracked jokes about his speech. My sister and brother wanted details on the location, no red flags. But a few weeks in, Mom casually mentioned the date might not work for everyone. It started vague, but soon she explained my sister's annual girls' trip to the beach in California clashed with it. My brother chimed in about his work event too. The excuses piled up like our wedding was just an inconvenience. I brushed it off at first, but my sister made it clear she was upset. She called it terrible timing, acting like her vacation was non-negotiable. We'd set the date months ahead. Her trip could shift. It wasn't a crisis or job thing. It was just a beach getaway. I told her she was welcome at the wedding, but we weren't budging. That's when Mom ramped up the pressure, pushing for a compromise as if I was the one being unreasonable. If you've ever dealt with family drama that flips everything upside down, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more real-life tales like this. You won't believe how this turns out. The pressure didn't let up. My fiancé Sean, 28, and I had our hearts set on that date, but my family kept pushing back. Mom suggested we find a compromise because my older sister Leah, 32, shouldn't miss her annual girls' trip to the beach in California. It wasn't just a casual getaway for her, it was this big tradition with her friends that she'd been doing for years. She acted like rescheduling our wedding was no big deal, as if her vacation was etched in stone while our special day was flexible. I tried to explain that the date meant everything to us, the anniversary of our first meeting, a moment that changed our lives. We'd booked the venue in the Colorado Mountains near our Denver suburb home, and everything was falling into place. But Leah texted me nonstop saying it was unfair to make her choose between her trip and my wedding. "You know how much this means to me," she wrote, as if her beach time outweighed my once-in-a-lifetime event. Then my older brother Patrick, 36, jumped in. He mentioned his big work conference that weekend, something about networking and team building that he attended every year. He didn't outright demand a change, but he made it clear it'd be tough for him. At this point, it felt like my family viewed our wedding as optional, something they'd squeeze in if it fit their schedules. My father Garrett stayed mostly quiet, but he eventually said, "It's a busy time of year for everyone," as if that excused treating our plans like an afterthought. Sean was stunned. He'd always gotten along with my family, but now he saw how they prioritized their own stuff over showing up for me. He asked if this was a pattern, and honestly, it was. Looking back, it hit me how things had always been uneven between Leah and me from childhood. When we were kids, Leah got the bigger birthday gifts because she was the responsible one who needed encouragement for school. If we fought over toys, Mom always sided with her, saying I should let Leah have it since she was older and had more stress. I remember one Christmas when Leah got the new bike I wanted, and I was told to be happy with hand-me-downs because sisters share. It built up this sense of her needs coming first, while mine were secondary. I thought it was normal back then, but now it explained why they expected me to bend again. My mother Alyssa doubled down, sending messages about how family means making sacrifices. She framed it like I was stubborn for not shifting the date even though we'd given plenty of notice. "Leah's trip is important too," she said over a call, her tone dripping with disappointment. I reminded her that our wedding wasn't just another event, it was the start of our life together. Instead of backing off, she involved more relatives, whispering about how inflexible I was. Patrick didn't push as hard as Leah, but he hinted that his conference was crucial for his career. "I'd hate to miss it," he texted, implying the choice was on me. Garrett finally weighed in, suggesting we postpone to avoid conflict. It was clear they weren't considering our side at all. Sean and I talked it over and we agreed the date stayed. We weren't rearranging everything for Leah's beach drinks or Patrick's work mingle. Leah didn't take it well. She accused me of being selfish, saying family should come first. I shot back that this was my wedding, not a casual dinner, and if she cared, she'd skip her trip for once. The arguments escalated from there. A cousin messaged me saying the family was buzzing about my attitude. It seemed they'd twisted the story, making me the villain for expecting them to attend. I gave them one last chance, stating the date was final and they were welcome if they chose to come. But Alyssa and Leah kept pressing, turning it into a control thing. They were used to me giving in and they hated that I stood firm this time. Fine if they couldn't prioritize my big day, that was on them. I wasn't begging my own family to show up for me anymore. Leah and Alyssa refused to back down. They kept messaging, turning every conversation into a guilt trip about how I was tearing the family apart. Leah sent long texts about her excitement for the California beach trip, how she'd already paid deposits and couldn't refund them. She made it sound like my wedding was the real disruption, not her vacation choice. Alyssa chimed in with vague comments about other relatives being upset, though she never named anyone. Patrick went silent after his initial hints, ignoring my updates on wedding details. It was his way of siding without saying it outright. Garrett tried to play peacemaker once, suggesting a family meeting in our Denver suburb home, but he folded when Alyssa pushed back. Soon the RSVPs started coming in, or rather, the declines. Leah and Patrick sent theirs back marked no calls or explanations attached. Alyssa and Garrett held off, but their silence spoke volumes. That's when the social media storm hit. Alyssa posted on Facebook a lengthy rant about people forgetting family values and letting selfishness divide loved ones. It was passive-aggressive, no names dropped, but the timing pointed straight at me. Comments poured in from distant relatives, some agreeing vaguely, others staying neutral. Leah followed up on Instagram with a story, a beach photo captioned "Prioritizing what matters," as if skipping my wedding was a bold stand. I heard through the grapevine that Alyssa and Leah were bad-mouthing me to extended family, painting me as the one causing unnecessary tension. Some aunts and uncles confirmed they'd attend, but others hesitated, caught in the crossfire. My cousin Jared, 30, texted me privately. He revealed that Alyssa had been venting in a family group chat I wasn't in, saying I didn't care about Leah's traditions. Jared, who lived nearby in Denver and worked as a sales rep, had seen the messages and thought it was unfair. "They're twisting everything," he said, sharing screenshots that showed Leah exaggerating her trip's importance to rally support. Sean urged me not to engage, and he was right. We focused on final touches for the mountain resort venue, sending invites despite the drama. But the negativity escalated. Leah messaged again, accusing me of embarrassing the family. Alyssa called relatives directly, subtly discouraging attendance without outright calling for a boycott. It made some waver, though. Most stuck to their yes. That pushed me over the edge. I was done chasing approval from people who clearly didn't value mine. Sean and I decided to proceed full steam, no more energy wasted on them. The wedding day arrived crisp and clear in the Colorado mountains. I woke early, nerves buzzing, but Sean's family had everything handled from setup to guest greetings. A text from Jared confirmed what I suspected. Alyssa, Garrett, Leah, and Patrick weren't coming. No last-minute regrets, just empty seats. I dressed in my gown, the venue filling with Sean's relatives and our friends. His parents stepped up, treating it like their own daughter's event. His mom teared up during prep. His dad organized transport smoothly. The ceremony unfolded beautifully. Sean's father walked me down the aisle, his mother beaming from the front row. A few of my supportive aunts and uncles showed, including one who defied Alyssa's pressure. But the surprise was Jared slipping in just before it started. Later he pulled me aside. "I'm not missing my cousin's day over this nonsense." We exchanged vows under the mountain sky, the officiant declaring us married amid cheers. The kiss sealed it, applause drowning out any lingering thoughts of my absent family. At the reception, Sean's side showered us with toasts, laughter, and dances. The food was perfect, photos captured pure joy. Halfway through, an envelope arrived from Alyssa and Garrett, a check with a note. "Hope you appreciate family someday." I pocketed it without a word, Sean squeezing my hand. Social media buzzed with guest posts praising the event. Leah responded with a cryptic story. "Some choices reveal true priorities." It stung, but I ignored it. The night ended on a high, US cutting cake amid celebration. No voids felt hollow. Sean's family filled them completely. The reception wrapped up late. Sean and I slipped away to our honeymoon suite, but the real escape came the next day when we flew out for our beach resort getaway. We'd chosen a spot with endless ocean views far from Denver's mountains to unwind completely. No phones at first, just us, the waves, and zero interruptions. It was bliss after the build-up. A week and I checked my messages casually. Notifications flooded, missed calls from Garrett, texts from Alyssa, even Patrick breaking his silence. Something was up. I opened the family group chat and saw chaos. Alyssa was in full panic, ranting about a family emergency that demanded I come home immediately. Leah backed her, typing furiously about how devastated everyone was. Garrett had left a voicemail earlier that morning. "Caitlin, it's Dad. We need you back. It's urgent with Leah. Call us." His voice sounded strained but vague. Sean listened with me, rolling his eyes. We weren't cutting our trip short for whatever this was. Then Alyssa texted directly. "Your sister's in trouble after her trip, debts piling up. Family sticks together in crises." It clicked, the emergency tied to Leah's California beach splurge, probably overspending on hotels and outings. I called Garrett back and he spilled more. Leah's credit card bills from the vacation had hit hard, maxed out with no quick fix. She needed help sorting it, and they wanted me there to unite and contribute. It smelled like a setup, using finances to guilt me into forgiving the wedding snub. Sean shook his head. "This isn't an emergency. It's manipulation." As we lounged by the water, I texted back, "Sorry, I'm at the beach." The reply lit up the chat instantly. Leah exploded. "How can you be so heartless? We're falling apart here." Alyssa piled on with accusations of abandonment, saying I'd regret not stepping up. Patrick added a mild plea. "Come on, sis. Let's fix this together." But Jared messaged privately. "It's not as bad as they say. Leah's exaggerating the debt to pull you in. I saw her recent posts. She's fine, just regretting choices." The group chat turned into a battlefield. Alyssa named relatives who had attended my wedding, calling them traitors for supporting me over Leah's needs. "Loyalty means nothing anymore," she wrote. Leah targeted Jared specifically. "Some people side with drama starters." He fired back. "You skipped your sister's wedding for sand and sun, now you're mad others showed up." Sean grabbed my phone, blocked the noise. But I read on as Leah posted publicly a filtered beach throwback with, "Real family shows up when it counts." Comments sympathized with her friends, adding hearts and support. Alyssa called Sean directly, her message to him pleading, "Talk sense into Caitlin before it's too late." He replied curtly, "We're on honeymoon, leave us out of this." More voices joined the fray. An uncle defended me. "You chose a vacation over her wedding. Own it." Leah ignored him, playing victim with stories about betrayal. Patrick tried neutrality in a direct message. "Didn't think it'd blow up like this. Too late for that." Jared kept updating, "Alyssa's rallying more family against you, saying your absence now proves selfishness." It was exhausting, but we muted everything and returned to our days of sunsets and cocktails. The irony hit hard, them begging while I relaxed on the very thing they'd prioritized over me. As the honeymoon wound down, the messages slowed but didn't stop. Leah's final jab came via voicemail, tearful and accusatory. "After all we've been through, you choose a beach over us." Garrett texted regrets without action. Sean and I packed, knowing the return home meant facing the fallout head-on. We landed back in Denver. The messages had piled up during our flight, but I ignored them at first. A day later, a cousin's call broke the quiet. Alyssa was still fuming online. Her latest Facebook status lamented how some actions fracture unbreakable bonds, clearly aimed at me without tagging. Comments from her friends echoed agreement, adding fuel with vague nods to family loyalty. Leah wasn't far behind. She uploaded an ironic caption under a sunset photo, grateful for those who understand real commitment. Her followers filled the section with supportive emojis, some even messaging me directly to question my choices. Patrick finally reached out privately, his text simple: "I should have spoken up sooner. Sorry." No details on what he regretted, just that hollow admission without follow-through. Jared called next, his voice steady. He explained the emergency was overhyped. Leah's debts were from impulse buys during her trip, not a crisis, but Alyssa amplified it to force reconciliation. "They thought it'd pull you back," he said, sharing more chat logs where Leah admitted exaggerating for sympathy. Sean nodded as I relayed it. Classic ploy. Alyssa shifted tactics, texting Sean again about mending fences before resentment grew. He blocked her number without replying. Leah targeted me on Instagram direct. "Your silence says everything. Hope you're happy now." I didn't respond, but Jared warned that Alyssa was rallying uncles against those who'd attended our wedding, labeling them enablers. Patrick's next message confessed more. Mom and Leah went too far, but I stayed out of it. Still no action from him, just words. Garrett sent a brief note: "Wish things differed." Empty as always. The family divide deepened. Some relatives unfollowed Leah's posts, others defended me in private threads. I sat with Sean scrolling through the mess. "Enough," I said. "We block Leah and Alyssa on social media and text, limiting contact to emergencies only." Patrick and Garrett stayed unblocked for now, but their silence earned distance. Jared remained a lifeline, updating without bias. As weeks passed, Leah's freelance gigs slowed. Clients she'd networked with saw the online vitriol and backed off, wary of the negativity. Alyssa lost touch with a few aunts who'd sided with us, her circle shrinking. Patrick tried one more call, voicing regret over the wedding absence, but I kept it short. Actions matter more. Sean and I settled into married life, hosting dinners with his family who checked in regularly. The blocks brought peace, no more daily digs. Yet whispers reached us via Jared. Alyssa complained to mutual friends about my cruel cutoff. Leah posted subtly about cutting toxic ties, the irony lost on her. We focused forward, planning our future without the weight. Patrick's final text asked for understanding, but I replied firmly: "You chose sides, live with it." Blocking him felt final, a step toward closure. Garrett's occasional check-ins went unanswered, his passivity no longer tolerable. Jared's support solidified our resolve. He visited, sharing laughs over the absurdity. "They're realizing the consequences," he noted. As the dust settled, Sean and I embraced the quiet, free from the constant pull. Months rolled by. Sean and I dove into our routine back in Denver, turning our suburb home into a sanctuary. Work kept us busy, me with accounting spreadsheets, him with engineering projects, but the family rift lingered like a shadow. Jared dropped by occasionally, filling us in on the fallout without sugarcoating. Leah's freelance world crumbled under the weight of her online outbursts. Potential clients who'd seen her rants about family betrayal hesitated, pulling out of deals one by one. A graphic design gig vanished when the company cited unprofessional conduct after spotting her posts. Word spread in her network. Freelancers in Denver rely on reputation, and hers tanked fast. She confided in a mutual contact that bills mounted higher, forcing her to take lower-paying side jobs just to scrape by. Alyssa faced her own isolation. Relatives who'd once gathered for holidays now kept distance, uncomfortable with her role in the wedding boycott, an emergency ploy. An aunt stopped inviting her to gatherings, saying the negativity drained everyone. Garrett tried bridging gaps quietly, but his efforts fell flat. Alyssa doubled down, blaming me in private conversations that leaked back. Patrick reached out sporadically at first, casual texts about neutral topics like old neighborhood spots. Then came a direct admission. "I see now how Mom and Leah pushed too hard." I responded minimally, no warmth offered. He escalated to calls, voicing full regret over skipping the ceremony and staying silent during the debt drama. "Let's talk it out," he urged. But trust was gone. I told him clearly, Your inaction spoke volumes. Don't expect easy fixes. Sean supported the boundary, reminding me we'd built a life without their interference. We discovered I was pregnant soon after, a joyful surprise we'd planned for. Keeping it private at first, we shared with Jared and Sean's family only. The news spread inevitably, and Alyssa learned through the grapevine. Her reaction was predictable, a frantic message. Don't keep my grandchild from me like you did the wedding. We blocked further intrusions, focusing on prenatal visits and nesting. Patrick's attempts continued, sending baby gear unasked with notes pleading involvement. Family heals. One read, I donated the items, replying once, boundaries protect us now. He persisted, showing up at our door, unannounced, face etched with apology. I was wrong to side with them, he said, but I closed the conversation. Too late for that. Leah spiraled further, her income dips, leading to arguments with Garrett over finances. Alyssa withdrew into her routine, attending fewer events as cousins distanced themselves. Jared noted she'd lost a close friend group tie due to the ongoing blame game. Our baby arrived healthy, surrounded by Sean's parents' warmth and Jared's visits. The nursery filled with gifts from true supporters, no drama attached. We hosted a small baby shower in our backyard, laughter echoing without tension. Sean's brother joked about future playdates. His mom offered endless advice. It was the family we'd chosen. Patrick's last effort came via email, a long plea for visitation rights as an uncle. Regret doesn't erase damage, I wrote back before blocking. Garrett echoed similar sentiments in a voicemail, but silence met him. Leah attempted an indirect approach through Jared, asking for updates, but he relayed my no. Life thrived. Sean and I balanced parenthood with careers, weekends hiking Denver trails. The old ties faded, replaced by genuine connections. Leah's struggles mounted, her freelance slate sparse. Alyssa's social world narrowed to echoes. Over a year slipped by. Sean and I watched our child grow, cherishing milestones in our Denver home. Playdates with Sean's relatives filled weekends, their involvement steady and uplifting. Jared became a regular, bonding over barbecues and sharing neutral updates on the extended family. Leah's downward slide accelerated. Without steady clients, she resorted to gig economy apps, scraping together odd jobs that barely covered rent. A former colleague mentioned her reputation had soured businesses, avoided collaborators linked to public feuds. She moved back in with Alyssa and Garrett, tensions flaring over shared expenses. Garrett confided in a distant relative that arguments erupted daily, Leah's frustration boiling into blame toward me. Alyssa orchestrated her final push, a surprise reunion at their suburb house. She invited everyone under the guise of a neutral gathering, hoping to corner me into apologies. Jared got wind early and warned us. It's a setup, Mom's telling people she's praying for healing. Sean and I discussed it briefly. No way we'd expose our family to that toxicity. Patrick arrived at our door days before, his expression worn. Give it a chance, he pleaded, admitting Leah and Alyssa had overstepped boundaries for years. He revealed Leah's latest low, losing her apartment deposit due to unpaid bills, forcing the move home. Help us rebuild, he added. I shut it down. Rebuilding starts with accountability, not ambushes. He left deflated, no further contact. The reunion day came. We stayed away, opting for a quiet outing instead. Alyssa blew up my old number voicemails, accusing me of ultimate betrayal. How dare you skip this, one hissed. Leah texted from a new account. Ready to move on if you are. I deleted without reply. Garrett's message followed. Understand if you're done, but it hurts. His cowardice sealed it. Smear efforts ramped up. Friends reported Leah telling circles I'd abandoned them without cause, twisting facts to portray herself as victim. Alyssa echoed on neighborhood forums, lamenting lost connections due to ungrateful kin. But truth held, supporters knew the real story through Jared's discreet shares. I blocked them all permanently, texts, emails, socials. No exceptions. Patrick tried one last bridge via Jared, but I instructed, tell him we're closed. Leah's direct plea landed in spam. Family means forgiveness. Ignored. Garrett's final note arrived by mail, a card with hollow sorrow. It went unopened into the trash. Freedom settled in. Our child thrived amid love from chosen kin, no shadows looming. Leah's isolation deepened, few gigs, fewer friends. Alyssa's world contracted to solitary routines, regrets unspoken. Looking back, cutting ties was my best choice. It taught me that true family respects boundaries and supports without strings. Prioritizing peace over forced unity brought real happiness. For anyone facing similar toxicity, remember you deserve relationships that uplift, not drain. Set those limits, it's liberating.